Hey everyone, Cindy Ellen here with our midweek Oracle message. And I really don't know what deck to draw from, so I'll go to the tried and true, my trusty, steady friend, Wisdom of the Oracle. So drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how your week has been so far. Let's see here. What do we need to know? Midweek. What's our midweek message? Let's just see here. The Fates. The Fates, card 17. So right off the bat, of course, I'm drawn to numbers. It's kind of like, okay, this is something every individual needs to reflect on, but keeping in mind that there's always something to be learned, and everything we go through is actually can teach us something. We can learn from it all. 17 here. 12. Went too far past it. 16. 17. Fate, karma, acceptance that there are things that you cannot change and knowing what those things are. Yeah. Radical acceptance, right? Because there are some things that we can't change. But if you have a need to know why things are happening or why they've happened, sometimes you have to practice radical acceptance. And that makes sense for this entire year because we're in a 9 universal year energy. So just trying to go with the flow, and the serenity prayers actually should be everybody's go-to this year, because this is a year where not much is in our control. So keep that in mind. The Oracle's message. So the serenity prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life that you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose that you can't understand now, or maybe not even in this lifetime. It may not be in the cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and current circumstances have to teach you, right? This is the wisdom contained in the serenity prayer. So just to add to that, so remember the serenity prayer and just know that, God always has a plan. Spirit always has a plan. We might not understand it, and the most growth and change typically does come from some of the most challenging things. That's when the most growth occurs. But during conflict and chaos, right, there's always a restructuring going on behind the scenes. And you just have to accept things as they are and go with the flow and try not to control them. Remember, this year is a very transformational and a very pivotal and critical year for humanity, because we're in a 9-year, the last year in a 9-year cycle. So there really isn't much that is within our control. This is where our connection to God, source, creator, universe, whatever word you use, that's our greatest asset, is our relationship with spirit. Okay, remember that. Surrender to the divine. Okay, because spirit's always got our back, even when we don't feel like it. Okay, that makes me want to draw from. So this can be a little bit longer because I keep seeing a card in my head out of the deck that I created, my mediumship deck. So let me just draw from here. And let's just see here. What else? Okay. Never stop being the light that you are. Okay. Now, the card actually reads, so I don't know why, I saw a different card in my head based on what that card was about, what I was talking about. But someone out there needs to hear this. Someone in spirit is saying, you brought me so much joy, even on my hardest days, and they wish they could have expressed how much your laughter warmed their soul. Never stop being the light that you are. So for the collective, the first sentence that I shared with you was the last sentence on the card. Never stop being the light that you are. And what happens is when we're going through chaos and turmoil and we feel like we don't have control and we fight it instead of radically accepting what's going on. But remember the serenity prayer. If there's some things that you have control over and you can deal with them, then deal with them. But if there isn't, you got to give it to God, right? But that can dim our light when we're going through chaos and conflict. Don't let the world change your heart. Let your heart change the world, even if it's one person, one moment at a time. So don't ever stop being the light that you are. Remember, you're here for a reason and a purpose, and you matter. I love you all. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye for now.